Well, so again, we have to recall all the related things. We've been talking about the registration and the non-adherence to the COVID protocols mainly.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, when we're doing the review, we had Gifty say that we haven't even seen a true representation of what has been happening on the ground. We had reporters go on the grounds to do some checks for us. Let's bring you playbacks of some of the reports.
Disappointingly, here at the Blizzard Assurance Registration Center, social distancing is not really happening. Many of the people here have started wearing their masks after they've seen our cameras. But what we observed when we came here was that some of them had it in their pocket, some of them were wearing it under their chins. In fact, many of them were not wearing their masks. Social distancing, it's a big problem here.
Social distancing, poor. Nose masks, no. Washing of hands, I am not seeing it. But what I'm seeing really, what I'm seeing really is the thermometer gun. The thermometer gun is being applied.
Okay.
But for the social distancing, you can even see from the cameras that it is not the best. And some of them are not even having their nose masks, and they are even shouting.
David Anna,
yeah.
Okay. Are you a resident here?
Yes, I'm a resident here. We are advised, most of them, to wear it because the thing is very dangerous. The sickness is very dangerous. But to my opinion, I have only one problem to say. This kind of queue is unnecessary. To me, it's very unnecessary. Because why the government didn't want to use the whole one?
I am an official for a political party, right? My people in Choco respected social distancing before. No, it's a problem that they always, you see, it's a problem we have here. They won't respect it. This is Choco for you.
Okay, we are here at the City Engineers Registration Center 1 and 2, and as you can see, some persons have gathered here outside the presence of the registration center. So, this lady standing here is one of the people deployed here, one of the health persons deployed here to this particular registration center. Hi.
I'm here to check the temperature and to record any case which is beyond me.
Okay.
So I quickly check their temperature before they go wash their hands. Then they proceed to the next level.
I've been speaking to the Jamestown District Crime Officer, ASP Williams Kalami. He says they are enforcing the strict wearing of the face mask here. Persons who show up at this registration center without a face mask are asked to go home, get one before they return.
So far today is very calm as compared to yesterday. Because initially yesterday there was a problem which was resolved leading to late start of the program. So people were agitating. But today everything is smooth. I think with the programs we put in place, everything is very smooth. The role of the police is very simple, to maintain law and order so that the exercise moves on smoothly.
Okay. Are you also checking whether people are complying with the social distancing protocol and the wearing of face masks? Are you also doing that here?
Yes, of course. You know, we are faced with a pandemic. And we must make sure we are all safe. So we see to it that people come with face masks. The social distances should also be observed. So we are ensuring that it is observed.
What about those who come without face masks? What happens to them?
Yeah, personally, I have even spotted some people who were not wearing face masks, and I advised them and sacked them, and they went back and came back in there.
Okay. So if you come here without face masks, you'll be sacked and asked to go and get one?
Yes, sure.
Aswansi constituency parliamentary seat remains the only one the governing MPP has never annexed in its stronghold Ashanti region since its creation in 2004. Constituencies like New Dibiase, Ejura Sechedumase, Ahafwano North and Sechira Fram Plains, considered NDC backyard, have changed hands between the two political parties. currently holding 44 out of the 47 constituencies of the region, the NPP has declared what it terms 47-47, which means it is determined to snatch all 3 seats occupied by the NDC in the region. No wonder allegations of manipulation have started flying. Incumbent MP Muntaka Mubarak claims people are being buzzed from outside to register in Aswansi.
Clearly, you see that they are doing this to enhance cross-boundary activity. For us, we have a simple message. This is our territory. We will do everything to protect it.
He also accuses the EC of creating what he describes as ambiguous registration centers on the periphery of the constituency to aid the MPP agenda.
We believe that they should stick to the CI and allow the police station that have been created. If they want to create more police stations, the law allows them to create more police stations. But to create this ambiguous station that anybody from all the centers will be able to go there, how are you going to even challenge? Because you say
MPP parliamentary aspirant for Aswansi, who is also MC for Sokori Mampong, is counter-accusing the minority chief whip of attempt to disrupt the registration exercise. He says he will hold the MP liable if anything goes wrong in the registration.
Chairperson, you don't pull nerves, you don't say things, warmongering, expressing your own anger with such a sabotage, saying that whoever is coming from his house to come and register to bid farewell to his family before he gets here. It means that we will hold you responsible in case of any hurt. If anybody gets hurt, we shall hold him responsible.
So those were reports from Ododo and Aswansi constituencies in Accra and Kumasi, respectively. We can now speak to Michael Buedu, who is Director of Training with the Electoral Commission. Good morning to you. Thank you for your time. If you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Let's talk about your own observations, because we've had Tuesday, Wednesday, of 2 days of the exercise. Your own observations. I'm sure you've heard what others have also said, but let's see what you've seen as an Electoral Commission.
Yes, thank you very much, and good morning to you and your listeners. We will simply say that the first 2 days for registration has been generally good, notwithstanding some few challenges. It will be fair and appropriate to describe it as generally successful, in the sense that our devices haven't given us much of a problem. The officials themselves are doing well, on top of the job, and the numbers we are recording are increasing. The first day was a bit lower, but it's moving up because the officials themselves are they are experienced now, and they are getting more experience as they do. They perfect the act of typing and improving upon their skills. And so, with the coming days, you're going to have better results than we have had in the past 2 days. And so I must say, yes, we have some few challenges though, but generally it's been impressive.
So do you know how many people have registered so far? Are we able to track in real time?
Yes, no, we are collating them. I'll not be able to tell you now, but I can do that later on. What we do is that we get daily returns, but some of them do come a bit late. You have to get at them in the early morning so you can analyze them. So
we've observed
all of them now.
Okay, I appreciate that. We've some of our reporters have observed in some centers how the machines have slowed down. I remember having a conversation before the exercise, and there was a lot of assurances that this time around the sort of machines that we have they have a lot of speed. So we will see the process speed up. But we've had reports of places where the machines have been slow. We've had issues of people absolutely not observing the health protocols because of COVID-19. But you say that you've recorded few challenges. I'm interested in knowing what your challenges have been.
Okay. Let me start with this. You mentioned that spots of places, a few places where the machine is slow. So what it means is that it's not widespread. Most of the places the machines are performing effectively. So this is it's a machine equipment. You must sometimes have some few challenges, but the interesting thing is that once the machine develops any fault, we quickly replace it and then find time to fix the problem with that machine and then make it available for another center. So sometimes the machine running slow. Wherever we get that problem, we are able to fix it because we have spare kits and we have technicians that are well trained to do that, and the vendors also have technicians that will fix this machine. So when the challenge comes, we are able to solve it.
Okay, so that's one of the challenges. What are the other challenges?
Yes, the other is very obvious. Our machine itself hasn't given much problem, but the other activities we need to do, especially because of the COVID, it's really given us a problem because if we ask you to social distance and social distance yourself.
Mr. Boyd, sorry, who is responsible in ensuring that there is effective social distancing at a center?
We have three bodies or persons responsible. The users, the security, and then the applicant themselves. It's a collective responsibility. We will create that avenue, make sure there are seats that are spaced out, or if there are no seats, you have to stand. We mark the floor so you will stand with the marks so you will not get closer. And we keep announcing at the center, make sure you not get closer. And so if you flout this, and the security will be there to help us maintain it. And then thirdly, you yourself, as an individual, knowing the environment you find ourselves, this COVID area, you just have to take your own life, health into your hands and just comply. I went to a few places and the arrangement was very wonderful. I mean, well spaced out. But you go to other places and it's not good to speak about.
So those who did so well, where did they get their training from?
No, the spacing I'm talking about, it's not our officials that it is the people, the applicants. But then our officials will insist that you space out and maintain these protocols. But some of the applicants will not just take.
But we knew human beings. I mean, we knew Ghanaians would not stick to what you just say. That's why, for instance, we have a law. If you don't wear your mask, the law deals with you. So I don't expect that the Electoral Commission would rely solely on us as citizens to do the right thing, knowing that the disease is a killer. Some people will simply flout it.
Yes, that's why we have the security there, so that the security is helping us maintain law and order, and maintaining a protocol is part of maintaining law and order to help us get order. So we, together with the security, will have to ensure that these things are observed. And so if you flout it, then we can ask you to leave the center and come when you're ready to vote, because to register. It's obviously means they are not yet ready to register. If you're ready, you will just obey this simple thing. But if you come and do your own thing, then you're not ready. So it's an equally asking to me. But we for now want to appeal to them. We want to educate them. We want to let them understand the need to observe some of these things. And that's what we are doing. But if we get to a point that they're so adamant and don't want to, then we'll have to compel them. And the security is there to help us do that. Let's compel them to obey these things.
Mr. Boyde, I was listening to reports yesterday. There's a center near Kolebu where they recorded, I think, about 20 persons whose temperatures had gone above the required figures. In some of the instances, they said they would let you sit and relax a bit. They would do the check-in again. And if the temperature goes down, then they'll allow you to register. Otherwise, they call for backup for you to be taken care of. I wonder how many of these things have come to your attention in terms of people's temperatures going up. There were reports of some people also coughing, even though they were hiding it. They were showing some sort of signs of COVID-19, but they were hiding it.
Okay. In fact, we have not come across such reports as of now, but of course we cannot be everywhere all the time. And it's good you have given us this information. And I don't know whether it was by design or accident. It happened at no other place than closer to Kolebu. So, yes, I'm sure those over there will not have problem trying to get help.
Okay, so this has not come to your attention?
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. But what you said is the appropriate thing to do. It's not in the hands of the health personnel on our team. So when they check and it is beyond that, yes, they will ask you to wait, because sometimes maybe because you have to walk for long distance to try again and all that.
Okay.
And if you are not getting positive response, then they take it out from there. So that's the appropriate thing to do.
After 2 days of the exercise, what has been typically the time, the amount of time that a person, can register?
Can register?
Yes.
Between 10 to 15 minutes, you should go.
Hey, within what? Please say it again.
10, 15 minutes.
10, 15 minutes.
I'm not adding when you join the queue. If you come and there are 30 people in the queue, you have to wait to get a turn. But when you start registering, actually, writing your names on the form and taking your photographs and all that, it shouldn't take more than 10, 15 minutes. You should go.
Okay, because we've had people wait in queues for 3 hours in some instances.
That much, because just imagine, if I'm taking 10 minutes to register one person and you are number 20. So the first 90 people, each of them 10 minutes, you will be staying in the queue for 3 hours before you get your turn.
Who is in charge? Who is in charge of overseeing the queues? Because some people go very early, as 3 a.m. to use stones to queue. Is that right?
Well, before 3, we start at 7. So if you go there before 3, we'll not be there. So whatever you want to do at the center, fine. But you can just put stones there, but make sure by the time we come and start, the person should be there. Because only time there's a stone there, and you come and tell it's your stone, how would you? So when we come, and there's already queue there, what we do is to identify them by giving them numbers, if there's not a large number, so that you come serving you based on the number you have given your cheat, I have given you, and make things faster. And so putting down stones, and by 7, I'm not there, the stone is there, we cannot accept it. Those there by 7, we'll start serving them. We'll identify them, we'll give them a cheat, and then we'll start serving them. If you can't later and tell us their stone was there, that will not be taken. Yes, so we need a person and not stones. Okay. And then let me also add, some people send their kids, children, to be the queue wait for it. It's also wrong, because election is for adults, not minors. And so you have no business bringing the minor there to. So typically
if there's a child in the queue, what happens apart from it being wrong?
That's right. It is not, yes. And we have queue controllers too. We have on our team, 2 of our team members also double up as queue controller. So, but then the work starts when we start working, and not at 3 a.m. when we have not come. So we'll not be able to control the queue until we have come to start to work.
So if a child is in the queue, even though the child is standing in for the parents, they'll send the child away.
It's not good. You see, a child should not be there. Because, the registration area is a restricted area.
Yes, I get that. I'm just talking about exactly. But I'm looking at the action, the corresponding action. What happens to a child who is found in the queue?
You have to ask the child to go home, because you cannot be at the center.
Okay.
It's not for minors. Yes, you ask the child to go home and call the mother or the father. Yes.
The issue of the guarantees. If I haven't registered, if I don't have a voter's ID, but I've got a passport or I have a Ghana card, I can guarantee for someone, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Wait, no. Come again. If you have not registered by a Ghana card or passport, you have to first register before you can guarantee.
Okay.
For someone.
So
yes, you have to first register as a voter before you can guarantee.
So I have the card, the voter card, and I have guaranteed for somebody for 5 people in Kokomlemle.
Okay.
I've gone to Kanishi to guarantee for another 5.
Okay.
And I've gone to maybe say the Central Region to guarantee for another 5. How will the Electoral Commission know?
No, so we take your voter particulars when it comes to register. We enter them to the system. And so when we do the matching of all kids from the various centers, we will find out. So
it's not something that will be discovered immediately?
No, because our system this is offline registration, so it's not network. It's offline. So it's not, if you have an online, then you have a switch for, but this is offline. And so it's only when we finish and we bring the data to our database and put them together, which we do on a daily basis anyway. So at the end of every week, we'll export them and then we match. And we know. So we will know there, but not, we will know at the central point, but not at the respective police station. Every the same police station, we will know immediately. But if it's between 2 police stations or 2 centers, and by the nature of the system, once it is not network, you wouldn't know. You will know when you put the things together.
So what will happen to a person who, I'm not talking about the person who guarantees, but the person who is a recipient or who is a beneficiary of that guarantee?
You cannot fault the beneficiary because he's not in a position to know whether the person will guarantee for more than the required number or not. So it is the guarantor that will be penalized. And the form that you complete before you guarantee for somebody, it certifies that. So we find out that if you've done anything untoward, you will bear the consequence and you sign. So you will be punished as a guarantor and not the beneficiary of your service.
Okay. How is the guarantee system? Have you observed people guaranteeing for others?
Yes. For the first 2 days, the response that we got, people voting using NIA card appears to be on the higher side, very huge number compared to even the guarantee. And so it's reached a lower, if my memory serves right, OT region, the first data we got, about 5,000 plus had registered using NIA, and about maybe 500 or something use a guarantee system to register. But that should be understood, because if you don't have any of these cards, the NIA and the passport, you have to wait for those with these cards to register first before they can guarantee for you. And so I'm sure that is what happened. And maybe over the time, over years, within the course of time, we will get more people using the guarantee. For course, by after a certain time, most people would have, those with these approved cards would have registered already and be in a position to also guarantee for others. But now, for our records, the guarantee people, those registering with guarantee, it's a bit lower, far lower than those registering with NIA.
Finally, Mr. Boyd, if you go to the Electoral Commission website, which is up and running again, where you can find the forms to fill, is it for all of us? Can I print out and fill out before I go to a center?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can.
So it's not like it's for a certain category of persons. It's for anybody who can access it.
No, because because the system cannot determine who is assessing. Once you're able to open it, you can assess it. So it's for everybody. You can just download, complete it, and submit. It's just a way of facilitating the process. Once it's done, and we go and we check everything is done, it takes a shorter time to check your form than to complete a new one for you at the center.
All right.
And so it's a good way of saving time at the center. That is all.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir, for your time. I guess because the process is still ongoing, we'll get to have plenty more conversations. But thank you so much for your time this morning. And that's Director of Training with the Electoral Commission, Michael Boyd, speaking to us. Roland, we have another leg of this conversation.
Yeah, definitely.